Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about the mess. So, Chantel Christie has come out with a statement. I'm going to read the statement to you, cousins, and then I'll give a little commentary, and then we're going to move on from the Jackie Christie and Chantel mess, okay? So, this is what Chantel had to say. I'll start by saying if you've never dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up for herself. The truth is, this dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding assault, etc. We're just taught to keep it in house and suffer in silence. I choose to break that cycle. What you witnessed was a masterclass in narcissism, someone lighting the fire behind the scenes, then walking away so you look like the arsonist. I know what really happened on and off camera all season long. So, no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the character, I know the mother. She touched my arm, I pushed her off of me, she swung, plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way, and I wish it never happened. But if you knew our history, then you know this was a long time coming. I may not be proud of all of my choices this season, but I am also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see the messages that say, I've dealt with this too. This reminds me so much of my situation. To those of you with heart and understanding, I see you and I appreciate your vulnerability. Though to those of you who met me with threats, vile statements, and extreme judgment, may you never understand my plight. Celebrating my darkest moments say more about you than it ever will about me. I've always been misunderstood, and this chapter of my life is no different. But I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I will keep my head up and my peace and focus as I continue to grow as a mother, a wife, and a woman. Hmm. You know, um, I have reviewed this entire season of Basketball Wives. Um, I have now started to see some of the clips resurface of conversations that Takari, Chantel have had with their mother. I am not Team Chantel. I am not Team Jackie. For those who have been watching my reviews, they already know that I don't even like Chantel. Okay? I want her off of the show. I don't want her ever to come back to Basketball Wives. I have asked numerous times this season, why is Chantel on my TV screen? Why is she on my TV screen? Why is she on my TV screen? Get her off. I don't like the way that she came in. I don't like the way that she, well, came back because she's already been on the show, just not as a full time cast member. I don't like the way that she came in handling the situation with her and Jackie. I don't like the way that she approached the situation with her and Jackie. I don't like the fact that she appeared as though she teamed up with Evelyn. Um, I just don't like it. I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Um, if she comes back next season, I will not be reviewing Basketball Wives because I'm not about to be down here going back and forth about Jackie and Chantel. If Jackie comes back, we'll review it. If Jackie and Chantel comes back, count me out. Um, with all of that being said, with how I feel about Chantel and who she displays herself as on Basketball Wives, as it pertains to Jackie as a mother, from what her daughters have said to Kari Lee and Chantel Christie, I think that Jackie is absolute trash. It made me emotional yesterday during the review. And maybe it's because that's not my story. Praise God. I'm not saying that my relationship with my mother has been perfect, because it has not. But it ain't nowhere near like Candace and Mama Dorothy. It ain't nowhere near like Wendy Williams and her mama and her daddy. It ain't nowhere near like Tokyo Tony and Black China. It definitely ain't nowhere near like Jackie Christie and Chantel's. And if you ask my sisters too, their relationship with our mother is nowhere near like those people I just named either. So when I see people online and they say, oh, they're still afraid of their mother at 40 and 50 and 60, I feel sorry for a lot of you. I'm not afraid of my mama. Okay, not as no grown ass man with grays all in my hair. Okay. That's not my story. That has never been my story, and it will never be my story. I'm not afraid of my mother. I don't even think about my mother putting her hands on me. I don't think about putting my hands on my mother. If I said something to my mother, um, I wouldn't be in fear of her retaliating, punching me in my mouth, slapping my teeth down my throat, deeming it as disrespectful. I see a lot of Black people online saying stuff like that. And that really makes me sad for a large group of you. Um, Someone said something in the comment section, one of the cousins, and I just wanted to read this comment because I thought it was absolutely fantastic. She put, I'm copying my comment I left on another video, but I am not a fan of the show. I've only tuned in into this Jackie and Chantel part, but watching this whole Jackie and Chantel situation, I'm not saying Chantel is right, but as a Black woman, I get it. In our community, mothers are praised so much as a matriarch, the glue, the everything. We can talk about deadbeat dads all day, but the moment you bring up that your mom ain't shit, suddenly you're the worst person on earth. Truth is, a lot of Black moms are just as toxic as the dads, but there's no safe space to discuss that. People just tell you to pray about it or act like it's disrespectful to speak your truth. This is coming from someone with her very own version of Jackie Christie at home. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and most people saying, I would never, can't even relate. Because you've never had that kind of mother, you simply don't know. And I just want to add this to that. For those who have watched my channel over the years, y'all know for a fact I don't have a problem coming down here talking about these niggas ain't shit but hoes and tricks. We can come down here and talk about how these niggas ain't shit daddies and how they not really taking care of some of their kids and how you got women out here doing all the work and all that stuff, right? But what we gonna have to do is be honest today. The same way we can come down here and talk about some of these men who are ain't shit niggas, there are some women out there who are ain't shit bitches. And as just as much as we can talk about these niggas being ain't shit fathers, there are women out there who are ain't shit mothers. And it is the God honest truth that we can come down here and talk about these niggas and pick them apart. But God forbid you say or point out one thing about a mother, girl, head start to explode. We will never be able to have an honest conversation, especially as it pertains to Jackie and Chantel, with people wanting to live in what reality they have already created. The fact of the matter is, there are clips out there of Chantel and Takari and Jackie in therapy, and they are discussing some of these situations with Jackie. There are clips out there of Chantel discussing some of these things with Laura Govan. There are clips out there of Jackie saying that because she provided basically shelter and AC, I don't want to hear this nonsense. I'll put the clips to some of these I'll put the links to some of these clips in the description box. But again, at this point, it doesn't matter because what has happened, people have decided that they don't like Chantel. So therefore, everything and anything is thrown out the window. Baby, I'm with you. I don't like the heifer either. Okay? But I'm not going to dismiss that 2 out of 3 children have said that Jackie is an ain't shit mama. And the fact is, see, we like to speak in facts sometimes over here. The fact is, you, me, you, your mama and your cousin too, don't know Jackie Christie. That is not your mother. You cannot tell the Christie kids about their mother because that ain't your mama. No matter how you feel about Jackie as a basketball wife, no matter how we can say we don't like how Chantel popped up onto this season, and how I do believe they ambushed Jackie, and how I do believe that Jackie did not know that this was a direction that this season was going to go. It does not change that Takari has already said what she has said about her mother. It doesn't matter that Takari comes down to the internet and says that she doesn't like what happened between Chantel and Jackie. We're gonna talk more about this on Patreon because I really want to just tug on a couple of wigs, but I'm gonna say this and we're gonna end it. Takari is allowed to tell her experience. And wherever you fit into that experience, that's where you fit. But the fact of the matter is, Dakari can come down here all day long and defend Jackie. It's not going to change the fact, Takari, that you opened up the motherfucking door for people to drag Jackie. I'm not saying Takari can't tell her experience with her mama, because she can. But Evelyn was reading parts of that book on Basketball Wives, Takari, because you gave it to her. We done talking about Jackie and Chantel, at least for now. We'll talk more about it on the other side of town. All right, y'all. You know, at the end of the day, Chantel need to leave Jackie alone. Jackie need to leave Chantel alone. They clearly don't like each other. They look at each other like two bitches in the street who can't stand each other. It is what it is. Shout out to y'all who have mamas like Jackie. I pray to God y'all find some type of healing before it gets physical. That is not my story. Thank God. I love my mama. Girl, we have had our issues, but girl, it ain't nowhere deep like that. Okay? Girl. All right, y'all. I'm gone. Now I'm gone. Girl, let's move on to the Chrissy. Girl, I'm ready to get off this motherfucker. Girl, let's move on to the next story. All right, so listen to this. This is some bullshit. Okay? This is according to page 6. Ex-astronomer CEO Andy Byron could sue Coldplay for Kiss Cam scandal. So ex-astronomer CEO Andy Byron could sue Coldplay due to the massive fallout from his Kiss Cam fiasco with his former colleague Christian Cabot. A legal expert confirms, but he'd have to get really creative. If we are getting creative, a possible claim would be for defamation, specifically as it relates to Chris Martin, characterizing the two as having an affair. Attorney Cameron, girl, I can't pronounce the last name, from MSD Lawyers exclusively tells People, page 6 Tuesday. Defamation is a statement, either written or verbal, that injures a third party's reputation per Cornell law. When Byron and Christian hid in shame after they were caught canoodling at Coldplay's concert near Boston last week, Martin 48 told fans over the mic either they're having an affair or either they're just shy. Hey! Um, the lawyer explains that in order for Byron to prove that the Sky Full of Stars singer's remarks were defamatory, he would have to prove that there wasn't an affair, which doesn't appear to be the case since neither he nor Christian have publicly debunked that claim, and it's been revealed they have spouses. Girl. The MSD lawyer's partner says Byron would also have to prove in court that Martin knew or should have known that the disgraced CEO was not cheating, but made the statements anyway with malice. None of these elements will be met, so any claim against Coldplay would be frivolous. The lawyer I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to say the lawyer. The lawyer points out before highlighting yet another reason Byron would likely abstain from legal action. Girl, I'm out of breath, girl. I just ran. Girl, I don't know why I was running. Girl, I stopped the thing to go in there and put my clothes in the dryer. Anyways, girl, when I say I'm just big and out of shape. Anyways, So I also very much doubt that Mr. Byron would want further public scrutiny by bringing a borderline frivolous lawsuit against the event organizers and our Coldplay. Ray Seeley, attorney at Kinsley, Holy, girl, I don't know, girl, Easter Comp, Stein Pirate LLP, girl, an attorney. The only thing a lawsuit by Byron would accomplish is that it would keep his indiscretion in the news for much longer, adding that it's extremely unlikely that Byron has a claim against Coldplay. I'll put the link to this article because I'm not going to read the rest of this. Girl, it just sounds crazy to me. This is what I'm going to say. There was what is it called? A statement that was put out, and then the people came back and said that the statement wasn't real. At this point, if this is true, I do believe that statement was probably real. I believe that the company, I believe that Andy probably put out that statement, and then the company said, and I believe that they said that the statement wasn't real. But if this article is true that he is planning on suing, then I believe the statement, because even in the statement, he tried to escape accountability. Let me just say this, Andy, nigga, I don't know how you are out in public cheating on your wife and think that you deserve some privacy. I could understand if Andy was in his house, minding his business, being an ain't shit nigga, cheating on his wife, and somebody zoomed in through his window or something, or some shit like that. Then I could probably understand. But you are in public, sir, and they say you are cheating on your wife with the head bitch in charge of HR. Girl. And you got the nerve to be upset because you think somebody, girl, was malicious and set you up. Nigga, you set yourself up. Does that make sense? How you mad because you got caught cheating? Girl, you got caught cheating because you went out in public. You know what's so crazy? You can try to sue when you, like, I don't know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It's kind of like when we watch Housewives, right? When we watch the Real Housewives or whatever. Sometimes I have noticed that on certain shows, the people in the background faces may be blurred out. But for the most part, from what I understand, and it may be different from state to state, even city to city. But I think once you're out in the public, I don't know, you can get upset that somebody is recording, but I think that it's kind of like fair game. I think that's why, again, when we watch the Real Housewives, we just see random people in the background. I think that they may have to have permission from the establishment to probably record there, right? But and they may make you aware, hey, there will be cameras here today. So I guess that may be their way of letting you know that if you walk into this establishment, you know you may be filmed for a project. I don't know, but I have seen people out in public being on these TV shows and their faces appear in the background of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So the point that I'm trying to make is with Andy, girl, you're out in public. So whatever happened, them putting the jumbotron on you, the video being leaked, nigga, you were out in public at this concert. Just like when you walk into a Beyonce concert, it says, when we walked into the Renaissance concert, it said that, I think it said, you are being filmed. Girl, it said more than that, but girl, to wrap it all together, girl, it was, you are being filmed. Okay? Anyways, Andy got some nerve. Let's go ahead and move on, y'all. If this article is true. Because just because somebody reports something doesn't mean that it's true. All right, so this might be some good news for some of you. So this is according to the Neighborhood Talk. Y'all are here for it? Uber launches women-only options for passengers and drivers who might feel unsafe with men. Neighbors, what y'all think about this? Uber is launching a new program called Women Preferences that will allow both passengers and drivers to select to only interact with women. In a statement on their official website, Uber says they decided to listen to the multiple requests from women claiming they want to feel safer on their rides. They've decided to create a future where it gives women riders and drivers more choice, more confidence, and more flexibility when they use Uber. For riders, when you request a trip on the app, there will be an option called Women Drivers where you can select and ensure your driver is a female. You can also now set a preference for a woman driver in the app settings. For drivers, they will now have the option to request trips with women riders, including during peak earning hours. They also have the option to prefer women riders in their settings. They plan to pilot the feature in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Detroit in the next few weeks. This is innovative. Thoughts, neighbors? Let me say something. Girl, can I say something? Can I say something? Girl, on some real shit, girl, you can't trust these bitches either. Because, honey, they'll set your ass up too. They be in with these men. Honey, you look up, honey, baby, they got your ass in human trafficking. So you can't trust them either. But, but, but here's the but. But I do understand this. I do believe that for the most part, um, women probably do feel comfortable with other women, at least in a woman to woman situation. If some shit was to go left, unless she got a bang bang on her, you probably have a more of a chance at defeating that person. Because usually, when it comes to physical strength, men are normally stronger physically than women. So I'm not mad at this. I think that it's great. I think that a lot of women will probably utilize this option when they do catch Uber. I'm surprised on some real shit. I'm surprised they haven't did this a long time ago. Because I do think about that sometimes. Like when I'm catching an Uber and I see women getting in the car with, and I know it's just like a taxi, girl, but I always think, I wonder if she's comfortable. Or like even if I get into an Uber with a woman, I always think, I wonder if she's comfortable. Right? So sometimes I'm not gonna lie, girl. Girl, don't judge me. Sometimes I will kind of like turn up the gay a little bit because I've noticed that for the most part, when women find out or think that you're gay, their guards kind of come down. Um, and I believe that's due to them thinking that because you are a gay, that girl, like, you probably won't harm them. You know what I'm saying? I have noticed that a lot with women. Um, just even not even just Ubers, like walking near women. Once they see that you're probably gay or they think you're gay, you could tell like their guards really do come down. They're like, "Oh, okay, girl." Oh, girl, okay, girl. Hey, what you was saying, girl? You know what I'm saying? God, girl, that was some man walking by me, girl. He gay, girl. You know what I'm saying? But I have done that before. Like when I get into Ubers with women, I'll try to like just so they know, like I'm gay, girl. I ain't, girl. We good, sister. Girl, just get me to where I'm going, sister. And then, girl, you can go on by your merry way, girl. I'm not a harm to nobody, okay? But anyways, child. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I need to decide what I want to do. I kind of wanted to go to Galveston just to just like sit out on the balcony and just look at the waves and be on the beach. I might do that. Galveston is really right up the street from me, girl. Some people don't know that, girl. But Galveston from Houston is like, well, from where I live, it's like a 45, depending on the traffic, it's like a 50-minute drive. And it's so crazy because I was talking about this before, how I used to live in West Chase, kind of like not near Katy, but close to Katy. But I used to live in the West Chase area. And from there to get to the airport, George Bush, girl, that was probably like a 45 minute drive. Yes. Mind you, we're still in Houston. Technically, where I would live was technically still considered Houston. Um, yeah, like a 45-minute drive. So it's just insane how like where I live now, girl, in order to get to Galveston, it's like a 45-50 minute drive. I'll say 50, like a 50-minute drive. Probably an hour if you leave during traffic. So I was thinking about just going into Galveston. I saw a cheap room on the beach, and just do just a little overnight, just want to, you know what I'm saying? And just look at the waves and have a cocktail and all that good stuff. I'm gonna decide what I want to do. I don't know. Anyways, all right, y'all. I'm gone. Y'all have a good day. I will talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.